What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the CT Toys Brown Suit Wolverine. Now, if you've been collecting toys for more than an hour, you've probably heard about this CT Toys Wolverine. Let's see if it's worth the hype. Let's check it out. As promised, today we'll be taking a look at CT Toys Wolverine. Let's see what we've got going on. First up, we're in a Mafex style packaging. I will have a comparison to a more traditional Mafex box just to show you what the difference of those two is. And before we go any further, whether you pronounce it Mafex, Mafex, I don't know. It's going to be Mafex from here on in, so deal with it. Wolverine, X-Men, CT Toys, 138. I know that's probably just a callback to the number on the Mafex one, but as a Misfits fan, I'm here for it. We are 138. Wolverine, X-Men at the top. Flip it to the side. Wolverine, X-Men. Nice little image of Logan down at the bottom. Flip it to the back. Wolverine, X-Men, number 138. Wolverine Brown comic version action figure. Some nice images there. Sneak down at the bottom. Some what I presume is important information down here, but I'll never know. Flip it to that side. Wolverine, X-Men. There he is again. Here is a side-by-side of your Metacom Mafex box, right? You can see it is a little bit larger. This CT Toys one coming in just a little bit smaller than the Mafex box. But they do carry a lot of similarities. Certainly the essence is there, what you would normally see, your number, 6-inch CT instead of Mafex, your figure in there. This one takes up a lot more space, this box being more streamlined. Of course, I don't think that they're going to go and change the size of the box anytime soon, since they've got a consistent thing going over at Mafex. But whatever happens with this CT Toys brand going forward, you know, I'm certainly here for it. I think a lot of collectors are. There's reason to believe that they are certainly just coming from the same factory as your Mafex figures, whether they didn't pass QC or what, who knows. Certainly some rumors floating around about that information out there. So without further ado, let's get them out of the box. Fresh out of the box, no matter what this boils down to, it's a good brown suit Wolverine. Mafex knockoff aside, if you're just looking for a good action figure, I mean, for what I paid for this it's going to be hard to make any sort of complaint about this, right? Just a really good deal. I think I paid like $22 after fees, and then like 3 days later, people were paying like $11 plus tax. So I don't know. I kind of wish I would have got that one, but even at $22, I'm still very happy with what I got here. Some weird arm coloring going on, but that's the kind of stuff that I can kind of just look over and not really pay too much attention to. The Wolverine body itself looks really good. The head sculpts look really good. You got the downed cowl, which I'm probably going to use that with the Secret Wars Wolverine from Marvel Legends, since they didn't include that with that figure. So I like having that. I will say, and we're going to look at everything closer, this still doesn't come out good. So I don't know. Maybe just that head sculpt has not been something that has been able to be achieved in action figure form. But yeah, this is pretty good so far, and we haven't even taken a closer look. So let's do that. Before we get into the figure, the only major note, if you want to even call it major, it's not really. The only thing that I've noticed that's significantly different from what you would get with a Mafex figure is the stand, right? So this was the stand that came with this figure. It does look different than the ones, at least from what I'm familiar with, that you might get with a Mafex figure, right? You can see the bases being different there. I don't know. I don't have the Mafex of this, so if that's just how that was in the original release of this, let me know. I kind of doubt it based on the few Mafex figures I have, which are all Superman and Wolverine. They all come with the same style stand. Moving in closer, we can get a good look here As I said, it's just a good looking figure, everything else aside. If you're just considering looking for a very solid representation of a brown suit Wolverine in 1/12 scale, I think you're good here. This is the discoloration I was talking about. You can kind of see it more on the back of the arms here. Very sort of yellowing going on. So, it's not something that's super lovely, but again, for the price, it's not that awful, right? Some slight discoloration and issues under here, which kind of leads into the idea that some of this may just be QC issues from the Mafex brand, and they're just moving these under another banner. Because why not make that money, When you remove the head, you have that same sort of ball peg dumbbell going on there in the neck, so you can see the ball on each end there. Same as your standard Mafex, a little bit more of a gap in the neck down there compared to the gray suit Wolverine, but still similar style you can see there. For your heads, you do get this head. This is sort of your neutral head. This is the one that comes on the figure in the package. It looks really good. Like, I have no issue here. It's a nice neutral, semi-stern look. Pretty solid for Wolverine, if you ask me. I'm certainly a fan of this head sculpt here. Even better, we get this semi-smirk, that really like, hey bub, sort of look on this face sculpt, and I love it. This looks so good. This is kind of what I think the Secret Wars Legends was going for in essence, but in delivery, this one certainly nails it much better, in my opinion. And then there's this, a face only a mother could love. This very much reminds me of that older Marvel Legends face sculpt that is effectively the same design here. It just seems like it can't be done right in action figure form. I mean, that's ugly. I'm not displaying that. If you are, let me know, and let me know why, because that's ugly. For your hands, you do get your set of fists, so claws down, ready to rock. You also get a set of open hands, which give you another option. And then you get your clawed hands, which look great. These claws out look fantastic. They look durable, pretty nice. So here is your actual Mafex version with the claws out. You can see, I mean, they're pretty similar, very much the same. You're getting what amounts to the same quality in those claws. As far as your articulation, this is going to be kind of standard for, and what I deem is probably only me complaining about. Mafex joints just feel a little loose to me. That gives it some good glide. I can understand why some of you love that. I don't particularly care for it too much, which is another reason why I don't really collect a lot of it. But again, I don't do a ton of dynamic displaying. I do a little bit of dynamic, a little bit of yearbook, a little bit of vanilla, just kind of all mixed together. So I don't really need something as dynamic as a Mafex figure. So that's why I really don't go down that rabbit hole, except for, Wolverine and Superman. But as far as the articulation goes, I mean, you do have the double neck there, so you get all that range at the bottom of the neck. You'll get some movement at the top, which allows you to do a lot more for your head there. You get that double shoulder area in here, so sort of a butterfly situation. You get a little bit of a drop in the shoulder. It gives you so much rotation around. Doesn't feel too weak either. That was something that I thought may be a concern there. You get plenty of movement backwards as well. So you certainly get a lot, and I understand that's the big draw, right? You get a little bit of a squeak in there, but I guess that's your shock oil should help out with that. So you can see, though, look at all that extra movement you do get in the shoulder there. That's pretty good. Upper bicep, of course, double jointed. You can see the metal pin in there. That kind of leads you to believe that it is Mafex, right? They do use that. That does seem a little weak, though. You can see it's almost like falling out there, but I guess not too much movement. It should be all right. That's what's showing you that this is a KO, right? That thing's about to just pop right out there. So you certainly want to be a little bit more careful around the elbow, and I'm pretty sure it's going to differ depending on who got the figure, right? if these are definitely QC issue figures, not everybody's going to have the same issue across the board. You do get your ball hinge at the wrist, which gives you plenty of movement around. I do like the way they do it compared to a company like McFarlane. It's very well hidden, and it does give you all that motion without being a weird ball at the end there. Of course, you got the dumbbell in the torso there. You get plenty of rotation and movement around. You can hear that, though. That's why you need the oil, right, Sith? You tell me about it, all the time. All right, you got the point at the base down there as well. So you get that double torso, which gives you all kinds of extra movement around. Again, I know that's why you guys love these figures. Leg kicks up to there, so you get some pretty good movement upward, right? You can, kick pretty high. You get some good backward rotation. Can see there you got that drop down that gives you all that. You can drop down for days with that thing. All right, double jointed at the knee again. You can see it come in loose there at the knee there, so it might pop out pretty easily. And you do have a cut down in the boot there, which is very well hidden, so that looks nice. And then your ball down at the ankle and your toe joint there. For comparison, here he is backed up against our gray suit X-Force Wolverine here. You can see they are roughly the same height, which I imagine that they would be and should be. So it'll certainly mix in. If you're just trying to fill a gap in your Mafex Wolverine collection or in your Mafex collection or in your X-Men display, this thing will fill a lot of gaps, so you should be good. And here he is backed up against our tiger stripe yellow suit Wolverine, which is another fantastic. This is the Mafex version, though, as you saw with the box comparison. Again, it fits in nicely. I wish I had the actual Mafex brown suit so I could really compare the two of those. But as far as mixing in this CT Toys Wolverine with your other Mafex Wolverine figures, it'll definitely flow. And finally, here he is backed up against our Secret Wars brown suit Wolverine, coming in at roughly the same height. I actually thought that the CT Toys would come in a little bit smaller. The feet are definitely smaller. It's visually evident, so you can see that. Otherwise, though, this CT Toys could certainly fit into your display. I think it does help that Wolverine is a smaller stature character, right? So you can kind of mess around with lines. Personally, I don't like to really mix a lot of lines. I kind of like the overall aesthetic of one line, right? And that's why I, at the end of the day, am a Marvel Legends collector. There's a lot of questions flowing around about, which one's better. People are posting, they're excited they're getting this figure. And then other people are hitting the comments like, just get the CT Toys. It's not that simple, Some people like to collect what they like to collect, and they like the aesthetic of one thing over the other. It's not a matter of, this is a better figure if you think it is versus this figure. They both have a lot to offer. I personally like the Secret Wars, as far as the joints, they seem more secure. Would I consider this CT Toys figure the overall better figure? Is it superior? I don't know. There's certainly an argument to be made. Aesthetically, I think it is what I would like out of a brown suit Wolverine, but we have those in Marvel Legends too. So it's not as simple as just saying, this is a brown suit Wolverine, that's a brown suit Wolverine, you should only get one. I've got every Wolverine, so I'm going to get them all. So that doesn't really apply to me. But for you out there, if you're really on the fence about which one you want to get or which one's better, if you're not that particular about what figure you want, then go with the CT Toys. I mean, now I think it's back up to $20, but a couple of days ago, you could have got it for $11, $12 plus tax, and that, I don't think you could ever beat that deal. For $11, this is a fantastic Wolverine. Is it going to replace anything on my shelf? Absolutely not. It's going to find its own home. This Secret Wars Wolverine has its own home. But that's for me. That's how I collect figures. Collect how you want to collect, right? That's it. It just boils down to what you want on your display. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. There is your CT Toys Wolverine in the brown suit coming from your Uncle Ali over at AliExpress. It's a fine figure. I've rambled on enough about it so far. Do I like it? Absolutely. Is it the best Wolverine of all time? Absolutely not. There are things to love. There are things to not like about it. The color is off. It's a knockoff figure at the end of the day. I can't complain too much because it is a knockoff. I know what I'm buying, right? You're not going to get gold from a turd, right? You can only shine it so much. It's good though. For the price, you can't beat it. I can't stress that point enough. If you're just looking for a Brown 2 Wolverine to add to your display, you don't care about anything else, go get this guy. If you're a Marvel Legends collector primarily like me, I don't know that this is going to do it for you. The Secret Wars one probably doesn't either, but whatever the next Brown Suit Wolverine that Marvel Legends puts out, maybe that one will do it for you. There are a lot of other Brown Suit Wolverines in Marvel Legends, and for me, probably the retro carded brown suit that we got a couple of years ago is my favorite. I think overall that's kind of what I like out of Brown Suit Wolverines for my collection. This one is really good though, so if you got a few dollars laying around and you want to just experiment with this figure, go for it. Anyway, that's the 2 cents, folks. I've rambled on completely, probably incoherently by this point about this figure. Do what you want with the information. That was the 2 cents. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.